Channel Island Cast On. What is this? Well, Channel Island Cast On is a decorative long tail cast on. It is worked with a thread, the tail thread that comes over your thumb, held double, so it's extra durable, and it's also super stretchy, so it's really good at the bottom of sweaters. It lines up very nicely with ribbing. It also lines up decently with garter stitch. It's not so great with stockinette. And it looks really pretty with corrugated ribbing, like in these gloves. Isn't that pretty? Because it's more durable, it was used on the bottom edges of sweaters and cuffs, because that takes a lot of wear. So to work a Channel Island cast on, like I said, it is a long tail cast on. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take your tail and you're going to more than double it. So if you had decided that 1 yard was enough to do a regular long tail cast on, you're going to more than double it. So there's a yard, I'll give it another yard, and some. Some is kind of nebulous, and there's lots of theories on that. My theory is better too much than not enough. And then you take the doubled up tail, and here where they meet, leaving yourself a little bit of a tail, not a great big long tail, you tie your slip knot. That's what goes on your needles to start. And when you are working this kind of a cast on, it always creates multiples of 2 stitches. So as you're going around, if you needed, when you finish your cast on and you're doing the first row, if you needed multiples of 2, then you would treat each of these stitches from the slip knot as a stitch themselves. And if you needed an odd number of stitches, then you would just knit these 2 together on the first row, and that would make your even or odd. So to work a Channel Island cast on, the short tail, this little guy right here that's just kind of hanging out, I tuck him up in my right hand so I don't work with him accidentally. As opposed to a regular long tail cast on, where you put both your thumb and your finger into the little tent of stitches. Instead, for Channel Island, you just put your index finger in. And then you take your thumb and you go underneath the doubled tail and around again. So you've got 2 loops on your thumb. Before you go through the thumb, you take your right needle and you scoop the working yard towards you. So bring it from behind and scoop it towards you. This makes a yarn over, and then you go up through both of those wraps on your thumb, catch the yarn and pull it back through, and then you wiggle this down into place. Make sure that it leaves that decorative knot. You don't want to pull it so tightly that you lose the little knot. Now you reset. So your thumb comes out and goes around twice, opposite what you would normally expect it to do. You make the yarn over. I always put my finger on top of it so I don't lose it. Come up through both loops on your thumb and catch that yarn on your finger and drag it back through the thumb. That part works just like a long tail cast on. And then you ooch that little knot into place. Reset your thumb. Yarn over, up through both loops, scoop it back through, and ooch it into place. You can see that every time you do this, it creates a yarn over and a pretty little knot. See them there? The yarn overs, they're the slanty ones, and the pretty little knot goes straight up and down. So as I look at my pairs, here's my slip knot from the beginning, which has 2 strands, and then I have a yarn over and a pretty knot, and a yarn over and a pretty knot, and a yarn over and a pretty knot, and a yarn over and a pretty knot. When I join this to work in the round, I need to keep in mind if I want even numbers or odd numbers, and it's true if I'm working flat as well. When you're doing it with ribbing, you want to line the purls up so that they happen over the yarn over, not the pretty knot. It just looks nicer. So if I were to bring this back around to start, I would knit this and purl this and knit this and purl this and knit this and purl this. If I needed to treat these as 2 separate stitches, I would purl one, knit one, and then purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one. There you have it. This works really nicely with corrugated rib as well. So have fun, enjoy, and let me know how it went.